change your heart. Look around you. Change your heart. It will astound you. I need your loving like the sunshine. And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Change your heart. Look around you. Change your heart. It will astound you. I need your loving like the sunshine. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. 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 Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Welcome back to Lifestyle MK. Today's show has been all about learning. And now we're going to go to our Pets Corner, where we've got our resident vet, Dr. Jamie, looking at the importance of training animals.
Hi Lifestylers, Dr. Jamie here. Now today we're going to be talking about dog training. It's said that there's no such thing as a bad dog, just bad owners. And there's a lot of truth in that. An untrained dog is an antisocial dog. We keep dogs to make our lives better. So putting in the effort early on is well worth it, as it takes the frustration and embarrassment out of the next 10 to 14 years and gives you and them a happy life. Here are my top tips for a happy dog. Number 1, choose a size and breed of dog that's appropriate for your lifestyle. If you're 80 and live in a flat, don't get a bull mastiff. If you're a forestry worker in the Cairngorms, then a Chihuahua is not for you. Gun dog breeds like Spaniels and herding breeds like Collies make excellent companions, but need to burn a lot of energy in a day, so if they're stuck in an apartment, they will get frustrated. Pick wisely. 2. Start training early, as soon as you bring them home, really. Now, I don't mean go straight in with a Rubik's Cube and IQ tests, but start with teaching them to sit for their food and come when called. This will teach them to respond to commands, but also get them to understand that doing as they're told makes you happy, and dogs love to please. Use simple commands. If you want a dog to sit, lift the food upwards as you give the command. This naturally makes them lift their head and stick their butt on the floor. Then praise them and reward them. Reward-based training is the most effective way to train a dog. Either with healthy treats, a clicker, or praise. If you reward them the instant they do something right, they quickly learn and remember this. Scolding a puppy is usually not effective, and can be counterproductive. Dogs have different perception of time from us. Pointing to a damp patch on the floor and yelling may just confuse them. They won't make the link. Does he not want me to wee? Does he get angry in the living room? Does he have a fear of carpets? Confusion and anxiety will follow. This brings us on to number 3, which is house training. Again, start early. I must admit, I'm not a fan of teaching dogs to pee on paper pads inside. Essentially, you're teaching them, firstly, that it's okay to pee indoors. And then at some subsequent point, you will have to try and teach them that it isn't. Establishing a routine is the key. Yes, you'll get a few accidents early on, but if you take them out when they first wake up, before and after meals, and before they go to bed, you can preempt the times that they need to go, then praise them when they do it properly outside. 4. Night training. Now, this is one of those times that interspecies communications really break down. We want to mould the dog's body clock to our routine, and in doing so, we often create confusion. Remember, dogs do not understand a word you say, but they are excellent at body language. We, on the other hand, are quite used to saying one thing when it's clear that we mean another. If your dog cries in the night, we often go down the stairs and yell, "Shut up!" This works, and we go back to bed thinking, "Yeah, I told him, I am the master." The dog, however, thinks, "Aha, I called you, you came. See you tomorrow night, same time." The trick here, as with so much of dog behaviour, is routine and consistency. Pick a bedtime and a wake-up time and stick to them. Once Fido realises that nothing of any interest happens between them, he'll sleep. 5. Dogs love security. Give them a place such as a bed, a blanket, or a dog crate where they feel safe, and this will build their confidence. So those are my top tips. Remember, routine and consistency. And before you do anything, just think, how will my dog interpret this? Suddenly it all becomes much easier. Many, many books have been written about the complexities of dog training, and you'll soon find that you don't really need them. If you apply that and some common sense. If your dog is happy and knows what you expect of them, they'll respond. Positive training is shown to be infinitely superior to the choke chain and army boot fear-based nonsense that people see so often. Now just think, do you want your dog to be like the kids at the beginning of The Sound of Music or the end? Dogs, yes, are descended from wolves, but they're no more socially similar to wild wolves than we are to cavemen, and should be treated as dogs. Not people, not wolves, but dogs. So remember, trained dogs are happy dogs, and a happy dog is the best thing in the world. Cheers then, see you next week.
Thanks, Dr. Jamie. That's absolutely true.
Absolutely.
Happy dogs are absolutely amazing. They are so cute. Well, if you want to know more, do tweet to us on our Facebook page, or go and visit www.abingtonparkvets.co.uk, and you can ask Dr. Jamie any questions as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, we've been asking you to tweet in with your lifelong learning experiences, and what have we got?
Well, I had a couple of messages about lifelong learning. So we had Jade South first, just messaged us. So I'm just going to read this out as it's to do with lifelong learning.
Right.
So, Jade, I'm 25 and I study part-time with the Open University, meaning I won't graduate until I'm about 28. I did start a degree course when I was 21, but to quit because by then I'd already had a flat to run and a student loan finance wouldn't cover my bills, which is something I think we all have to go through, if you go into higher education. I'm really glad that it happened though, because after a couple of years I realised what my true passions and interests were, and I was able to pick a course that really suits me, and then I get to study in my own time and still work. So yeah, I get that. For me personally, if I'd gone to university when I left college at 19, I would have been doing a course for the sake of it, and it would have had no reflection on what I want to do with my life now. I've had more time to learn about myself, and I used to be bored by school and college, only putting half my effort into it, but now I love learning. I would be a perpetual student and study my whole life if it was financially viable, which is why for me starting education as a mature student is one of the best things I've ever done.
Oh, amazing.
So that's a really nice positive way of looking at it, isn't it?
It's about choosing it, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you have that extra time to know what you really want to do.
Yeah.
And
then you throw yourself into it.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you, Jade.
Yeah. No, thank you very much, Jade. So we've had Anne Martlager, who also did a piece for us a couple of weeks ago. She's written in again for us on lifelong learning. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So she's got a little bit of an opening gambit here. So lifelong learning, an ongoing voluntary and self-motivated pursuit of knowledge for either personal or professional reasons. The concept of lifelong learning was introduced in Denmark in 1971, and which is formal. So it's formal, informal, or self-directed learning. So that's the three different types of learning, I guess. So she uses some abbreviations, so there might be some pauses I'm reading this out. A result of curiosity, good humour and self-motivation leading to personal well-being. Learning is intrinsic and we engage in learning from cradle to grave. Does not necessarily link to attainment of formal qualifications.
No, it's about life skills sometimes.
Exactly, yeah. So particularly for those aged 45 and over, the target for lifelong to continuing learning is 12.5%, and it's still far below the target. Implementation of adult learning remains weak and has not gained recognition it deserves, which hopefully it will change with the show. So hopefully more people will actually get inspired by this.
Well, exactly.
So it is essential to ensure that older people's skills keep them active and meeting functional demands of life. Much more needs to be done to achieve in this area.
This is what Ashley was saying earlier about how it can actually prevent dementia.
Absolutely. It keeps your brain functioning when you don't have a 9-to-5 job anymore. You do actually start almost stopping. You don't have to think anymore, do you? Yeah, so no, it's interesting. So she's gone on to say, looking back over my life, lifelong learning has been with me, ensured by growing up in different countries, circumstances and curiosity. As a young adult, I travelled, perhaps more than was usual in those days, and this exposed me to direct contact with different cultures and languages.
Brilliant.
Working in the embassy of India in Stockholm, it's made me learn Hindi by distance learning. In the meantime, I'd also obtained qualifications in the Swedish language. Alongside, I assisted a journalist to translate news headlines into English, which in turn he sold to various embassies in Stockholm. And these contacts and influences accounted for a steep learning curve. So...
But lifelong learning means your life can become so interesting.
I mean, all of that in just one job that she's had so many reasons to keep learning new skills, new ideas, which is, in fact, that's one job that she's had.
Yeah.
And that was, you can just think about, I think sometimes people do forget that when they are learning, I mean, one of my colleagues yesterday, in fact, turned around to me and she said, a day where I don't learn something new is a day I may not have actually bothered getting up. So
that's so true. So I love teaching, but it's not about imparting the knowledge. It's actually about what you can learn from your students as well, and that's wonderful. And I know Dave is also learning a language as part of your job.
Because I work for a German company and I don't have a second language, I've taken up doing German, and that's actually through it's an online course called Speaks. It's similar to Rosetta Stone.
Oh, great!
So it's a mixture of, we have tutored sessions and also the online resources. And actually, I mean, going back to the visual, audio, kinesthetic, it does combine all those elements, because you have the speaking section and the repeating back. It's got voice recognition as well. So there's the listening and speaking, and then also there's picture quizzes and things like that. So
excellent.
Satisfies all three sides of that.
And the best thing is, a lot of these courses can be free if you download apps or you look online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, now, what we want to talk about next is, we learnt a lot when we were growing up. And Dave has got a bit of a reminder of things that Gill and I may have come across in the 80s. And Dave, being a little bit younger than us, has got some of the 90s.
Okay.
But what we want to do is have a look at what we learned from these things.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is from the Huffington Post, which is just sort of a compilation of things that people have said reminds them of growing up in the 80s. I can see a few on this list that I recognise, so they must be the good ones.
All right.
Were still around when I was when I was growing up. So we'll see. Yeah. So what do you guys think? And see which ones that you remember. See if they came up on the list.